Hey everybody, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Saturday, May 9th of the year 2020, and this is my 18th FlossTube, I think. I usually check, I forgot to check this time, my bad. It'll be in the title if it's not 18. But welcome everybody. Welcome back to all of you returning viewers and subscribers, and welcome to all new viewers. If this is the first time joining you or joining us, this is a channel about cross stitch and my cross stitch projects, my cross stitch process or progress. My process too sometimes, but so if that sounds like something that's interesting, then feel free to grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or just water, whatever is your fancy. Yeah, enjoy me for a little bit. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you're taking all the precautions necessary for during these times. This is over here in Long Beach. This is the first weekend that we're going to have some businesses and retailers reopen. So I'm hoping that you know, everything goes well and then we can continue to go back to our new normal. So in the meantime, I'm keeping myself busy with my cross stitching. So yeah. Oh, and I did want to thank you all because shortly after uploading my videos last week, I did reach 500 subscribers. So that made me super happy. I started this back in January. I never thought that I was going to have that many people interested in what I had to say, what I had to show you. So it just blows my mind. And I do want to do something to kind of commemorate the milestone, but I also wanted to go ahead and wait a little bit until, you know, things are a little bit more freed up because of COVID. But thank you all so much for it. I do appreciate it. And happy Maynia. Happy Maynia to all of my fellow cross stitchers. If you're not familiar with Maynia, if you don't cross stitch yourself, if this is just the first time joining, the month of May is essentially cross stitchers holidays. The entire month of May is an event in which originally, it was started back in 2015. The original purpose was to start 15 projects. Again, 2015, so 15 projects in the month of May, the first half of May, and then second half was just working on either those projects or just other existing whips. Over time, that's kind of evolved and changed a little bit. People have put their own spins on it. So some people start a project each day, so 31 projects over the course of May. Other people will start, you know, project maybe once a week and get 4 or 5 projects started. What I'm doing is I'm just working, I'm doing a version of what I've learned is the Blimey Cat method. I was just doing my own thing. I did not know that the concept already existed. But what I'm doing essentially is last year was the first year that I participated in a version of Maynia. I just did Whip Maynia. I picked 7 projects to focus on, and then so this year I kind of looked back on those 7 projects, and then I said, okay, I'll go ahead and work on whatever's still left from last year's. So I found that I still have 3 projects that I haven't finished yet from last year. So I decided to go ahead and give each of them 5 days focus, which for me is unheard of. I'm the kind of person that tends to work on a project more than one project a day. So to focus on one project for 5 days it's been hard. But I did give myself the little caveat, like, okay, I'm gonna give myself one additional whip to kind of use in case I really do get to the point where I just can't work on a project anymore. I'll work on that backup whip for a little bit and then go back to the focus piece. Give each whip each of the 3 whips 5 days, and then I added another whip that I'm really close to finishing. And then on the 21st, I'm gonna go ahead and start a new piece as kind of like a reward. But then that entire week is going to be, like, I will give that new piece 5 days as well. And then the remainder of the week will be a free-for-all. So those are the plans. This week, I've been able to do 2, well, technically 3, if we're including the backup whip. So one of the, this is gonna be in no particular order, this was just how I managed to set it up, but one of the whips that I did focus on this week was my Peter Pan project. This is an MCG textiles kit, and this is my oldest whip, which is why I really want to get this done. I started this back in May of 2013, so it needs to be finished. And I'm using everything that came with the kit. It came with 18 count Aida, and I'm using the floss that came with it. So this was my weekday focus. Over the course of 5 days, I managed to put in 2,700 stitches. So this is where we're at. I did the math, and I am 88% done with this, which is super exciting. Like, I was talking to Zakia yesterday, because yesterday being day 5, I was so done with this. I was like, oh, I know I have to focus on it, but I can't wait to start on other things. So, here, get the strands out of the way so I can show you guys. But last time you saw this, I was pretty much over here. So in the course of 5 days, I've done all this. The clock face, which I'm like, it needs some back stitching, but it's there. And yeah, I decided to go ahead and close the border. So that's what I did last night. Again, like early afternoon, I was just done with this. Now it's like, you know what, I've done a good chunk. I'll call it a day. And then I took it out of the Q-snap and I saw how much I had done, and I'm like, I can keep going. Like, that kind of just gave me the boost I needed. So I did, and I did like, this is a partial. The last square on the grid is 90 instead of 100 stitches, and then or 80, no, 90. The one at the bottom was 80. The last one is 90, and then I did an additional 100 by 100. So yeah, so that was like the last chunk that I did yesterday, and I barely made it. I was like 11:50, and I was like, I have to get this done, you know, before the 5th day is over. But yeah, I might actually just bring this back out during that last week for the free-for-all, just to see how much more I can get done, because I'm super close. I'm very excited. And I have found that 3 days focus is pretty much the sweet spot for me, because I was like, I've been working on this, I'm like, maybe I could do this more often. Like, I like this, you know, because, you know, seeing so much progress over the course of so few days is like, I'm not used to that. So yeah, so I don't know, I might continue to do this, depending on, you know, because I do like to do the magical stitches homework and the enchanted stitching homework. Each group has done their own spin on Maynia for magical stitches, at least this week. For magical stitches, since they know that a lot of people are starting new things, there's 2 options to each task. You can, if you're starting a new whip for the task, you can do 50 stitches. If you're using a whip, like an old whip or another whip, you do 100 stitches. So for the tasks, I did do all 10. For some I did match them with the whips that I was focusing on, but for the most part I did do penalty stitches. But I did do the whip version. I haven't started anything new yet, so I didn't do the 50 stitches. And then Enchanted Stitching, they're doing, instead of doing weekly homework, they gave us like a more intense version of their monthlies. So we're essentially doing like a ton of the monthly. We're doing a monthly, like a more extreme, yeah, that's a good way to explain it, words, like a more intensified, a more intense or extreme version of the monthlies. So instead of doing like 250 stitches per task, we're doing 500 and sometimes even 1,000 for some of the tasks. And instead of giving us one movie, it's kind of like a mix of everything. For one of the tasks, each admin picked their favorite song from their favorite movie or something, and then there's like 5 categories or 6 categories, and then for each category at the end they let you're supposed to pick your own movie of the month. So at the end of every category there's always a task to be like, okay, well now tell us about your favorite movie. So there's like characters, so you have to stitch on a whip that represents your favorite character, favorite, or the theme, like, okay, pick a whip that represents the theme of your favorite movie or the movie that you chose for the month. So that's super fun. I'm highly enjoying it. So back to the stitching. The next task, or the next whip that I focused on was my Hogwarts castle. This again is also one of my oldest whips. I got this from an Etsy shop called The Stitching Girl, but I did get this back in 2016, so this is not this particular listing is not available anymore. And that whip got 2,000 stitches in so far. So this is what I've done so far. Since the last time you saw it, I have filled in the sky up here. Still missing, I still have a little bit of confetti to go. It's a lot of confetti, guys. I can't deal. I mean, some of it was block stitching. Like, that was my saving grace, was doing that little bit of sky, because that was the only bit of non-confetti area that I have left. The rest has just been all confetti. I have been filling in the windows of the Great Hall and this little tower right here, which, like, as I was stitching it, because it uses a lot of interesting colors. It uses a lot of like pinks and blue greens and purples, and I'm just like, what am I stitching? And it's not until like you pull back and I'm like, oh, of course, it's like the moonlight hitting the tower. Oh, okay. There's a little bit of yellow right there, and I'm like, finally, some yellow for the windows. That makes sense. That's the only color that makes sense. But I still need to work on this because I only gave it 3 days focus last weekend. This whip's pattern is on Pattern Keeper, which I have set up in my computer. So during the week, it's like, I think I may have talked about this when I was talking about the plans. During the week, it's pretty much impossible for me to be at my computer because my boyfriend is taking conference calls left and right. So I had made the decision, that if I was working on a Pattern Keeper piece during like I would just pause, you know, like especially this one, because I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's pattern keeper. But well, no, I have two more. But I told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it my focus during the weekend, last weekend, and my boyfriend didn't work on Friday, so it got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I decided to go ahead and I was going to go ahead and pick it back up this weekend. But even then, like I knew, for example, like today I film, so I knew that I wasn't gonna be giving it the whole day, so I did work on it a little bit over the week to kind of make up for the fact that I wasn't gonna get a full day today. So I'm still gonna keep working on it. I'm shooting for that page finish, guys. I'm super close. I can feel it. I can do it. I'm gonna do it. So next time, so I'm saying it now so you can get excited. Next time you see this, it's gonna be a page finish. I don't have that much to go anyways. So the backup piece that I gave myself for this week is my Esmeralda piece. This is a Tilton Crafts chart based on Daniel Kordick's design, and the reason I picked this was because I am using it for the Full Coverage Fanatics tour around the world thing that they're doing. It's an uncounting event. They do each month they focus on a country, and you have to do you have to stitch on something that you can relate to the country. It can be something as simple as, oh well, you know, the flag of this country has yellow and my whip has yellow, so I'm gonna use this. But May's country is France, and I'm like, okay, well, Hunchback of Notre Dame takes place in Paris, which is in France, so here we go. And I'm also using this for a ton of the enchanted stitching challenges, because this again, you kind of pick your own movie for the theme of the month, and I picked Hunchback of Notre Dame because it's my favorite movie. So a lot of the prompts are like, stitch on your favorite character from your favorite movie. Esmeralda is my favorite character, you know. Stitch on whatever, I don't know. It's just a ton. It's just a lot of the prompts have to do with your favorite movie. So I think I used this for something else. I can't remember. But I am using it for a favorite. So again, I'm using it for a favorite character. That particular prompt is 1,000 stitches. So she has gotten 700 stitches so far, and I do want to get at least 1,000 more done this weekend. I can do it. So this is where we're at. I've essentially finished this color right here. This is the last time you saw her. And I did start on the second color to kind of fill in the little ninja stitches, the little confetti stitches that are kind of left over. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and use her. I'm gonna set her down for this coming week. So I'll work on her this weekend, but then starting Monday, I'm working on like another set of new whips. So I'll put her down for next week, but then pick her back up the week after that. So, or maybe I can just go ahead and work on her the first half. I don't know, we'll see. Because I'm kind of also looking forward to working on something else. But the next piece that I'm going to be focusing on for my Maynia rotation is my Watercolor Floral piece. This is from a shop called Stitchery Stitch. I'll go ahead and link it below. This was one of the Whip Go calls this month as well, which was lucky. So the yearly goal that I have for that whip is to finish a page on the pattern, which essentially is like from this column down. So you can see like I already reached the bottom edge over there. And then I think there's like either 1 or 2 columns over here. So there's a lot of empty space here, like as you can see, like with the leaves, but so I still have quite a bit to go. There's like another like golden flower here. Yeah, so there's going to be some golden leaves slash flowers over here that I need to work on. So this is one of my slow going pieces. I don't know why. It's just working on this is I can never get into a groove with this, so I should be able to finish that page no problem. And then I can just, you know, mark that off for the rest of the year and not necessarily pick it back up. Unless you're like, if it does fit a prompt, then sure, I'll go ahead and pick it up. It's not gonna be a priority. And then once those 5 days are over and done with, the 4th piece that I added to the Maynia rotation is my teacup display piece, because I'm very close to finishing this, and I figured 5 days focus was going to be plenty of time. So yeah, I pretty much have all of the border done. I really only have the teacup and the saucer to go, which is really exciting. So hopefully next time you see this, you'll see either a finish or just really close to being finished. But I normally work on, I normally film on Saturday mornings, so I also feel like by the time you see the video, I will not have even started working on it. So maybe not this video, or like my next video, but the one after, you may see the progress on this. So yeah, but I'm very excited because it is getting very close to being finished. And the piece that I'm giving myself as a backup piece this week, like originally, like that's the plan. Now I'm like reconsidering it, but I think I will work on her because I was excited to get to her this week. This is June. This is the Heaven and Earth Designs chart based on Anna Dittman's artwork, and this was the 2nd Whip Go call for the month, which I think that's also why I wanted to get to her, so that I can get both of the Whip Go pieces over and done with before anything else happens. So this is what I have so far, and so again, I don't think I haven't worked on this yet. I don't know why I'm showing you guys I'm showing you for the before and after, I'm sure, but yeah, I don't normally show like the planned pieces, but whatever. This is Maynia, you know, all bets are off during Maynia. But for her, the Whip Go goal is 2,000 stitches. So fingers crossed. I'm sure I'll be able to do it. I was able to do 2,000 on Hogwarts in 3 days, or a little over 3 days. So yeah, and Peter Pan got 2,700 stitches. So yeah, I think I should do it. It should be no problem. But yeah, we shall see what the week brings. The wing words, which are hard. But yeah, I'm really excited. Again, I was very happy to see that I was able to still work on my challenge group prompts. I was also able to join a pop-up event at the Stitchy Quest Facebook group. Apparently it was their anniversary, so whenever it is they started the group, that was the event, the theme of the event. So we were supposed to do, as a group, we were supposed to accomplish as many stitches as the year that each book was published. So I think the last one was 1955, something like that. So it actually ended up being like super easy, because a lot of us were doing like 500, 700. So between 3 people, it was done. It was super quick. But it was also it was supposed to be done within a day. So that was also, I think, why it was done so, or I felt like people were posting super fast. So yeah, so I was very happy to see that I was able to still participate, because I know that, you know, I told myself, you know, when the month started that, you know, even though they're usually a priority, the challenge groups would kind of take, you know, take second second place, at least for this week or this month. So yeah, so I was happy to see that I could still get some things done. And yeah, I'm able to, like, for example, for the monthly challenges, I was able to take into account the other focus pieces. So one of the monthly prompts we have for magical stitches is we have to work on a whip with a lady. So I'm using June for that one, and since I knew I was going to be working on June, so I wrote down June. And then there was another one that I kind of anticipated the fact that I would be focusing on that piece, so that was nice. But yeah, that's all I have to show you for today. Thank you for joining me today. I know I think the reason why I wanted to show you the plans is because I'm not used to showing such few whips. I mean, I only worked on 3 whips this week, so I felt like I needed to show you more. I needed to pull out more whips. Yeah, hopefully by my next week I'll show you at least 2. I'll show you my progress on June and the progress on the watercolor floral. The teacup display may not come into my video until the following one, but that's okay. It'll get work done anyways. So yeah, happy Maynia to all my fellow stitchers. I hope you continue to enjoy, you know, working on your new whips. If you don't participate, I hope you continue to enjoy watching us go mad. I do hope you guys continue to be well, that you continue to stay safe, especially now that things are reopening. People are letting their guard down where they shouldn't. So just be careful, be safe, and yeah, happy stitching, everybody.